What's up, Raider Nation? I am Raider Glenn Diesel. I got EP El Paso Raider, my homie from another man on the podcast with me. This is a commitment to bring you excellent podcast. Today we're coming back with an episode. We're going to talk about um, some rankings. We're going to do our big board rankings. We're going to talk about some prospects. We're going to do our breakdown on position rankings, how we have our positions ranked. Then we're going to kind of get into a breakdown of the Raiders roster, and then we're going to do a 7-round mock draft for you guys. So we're gonna kind of do it different. Like he's going to do one, he's going to kind of do his pick, then I'm going to do my pick, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll move on to the next round and so forth and so on. So, but we're also going to play, or I'm actually going to read some of Spatek's and Pete Carroll's pressers, some of the tea leaves that I took away from that will also kind of help you, have some insight on how they're thinking. Some of the things that was taken away from those pressers, so that way it kind of helps you have an idea of maybe what kind of direction that they're going to, direction that they're trying to build this team, and help you understand that. So, all right. So, what's up, EP? It's been
What's
a while,
happening?
bro.
Yes, sir. It's been a while, man. Been busy, but always got to chop it up, talk some ball, talk some Raider ball for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, all right. So let's kind of get into the big board. So I'll let you kind of start with your top 10, who you have at your top 10, and then kind of give me, you know, the reason, I guess, how you had it that way,
Yep,
I'll give you my 10.
go for it. All right. So you want me to do it first? Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my top ten would be obviously number one. I got Abdul Carter.
Okay.
Um, I can kind of swap Travis Hunter with him, one and two. To me, it'd be either one. You know what I mean? But I'll put Travis Hunter two.
Okay.
I got Ashton Genty as number three prospect. In my opinion, that
Gotcha.
dude's an alpha. He's an alpha in my opinion. I got Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami, number four.
Okay.
I got Jalen Walker out of Georgia, linebacker. I got Mason Graham, number six. I got Amon Mimble, number seven. And I'm gonna throw Jahabi Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama there. I had Will Campbell first, but I'm gonna throw him in at number eight.
Okay.
And then I'll put Will Campbell as number eight. And then no, number nine. I'm sorry. And then I'll put 10 wide receiver McMillan out of Arizona.
Okay. All right. So you said that you had, I guess you kind of, you swapped it or whatever. So um, who'd
Well,
you have?
I had Campbell linebacker. Jihadi Campbell a little bit lower, but that's because I did not notice it. So
Right. Okay. See, and that's why I like, Raider Nation. That's why I like doing this because again, you don't want the same. You know what I'm saying? You don't want because people look at prospects different, and that's why I like EP is because like the way he watches film, the way he breaks down prospects or whatever. And I've noticed this when I first started chopping up with the man, and before we started becoming a family or whatever, I noticed that he had a different eye. And we would always talk about, okay, so why'd you have this person here, or okay, so what did you see in this person, because that made me go back and look at, I was like, man, I guess I missed something, so let me go back, and then same thing for him. We would go back and then we'll come back to the table and say, yo, good eye, because I missed that. So you're going to get a different perspective. So he has a totally different top 10 than my 10, and which is good because you don't want it the same. You know what I'm saying? And the people in the room, at Intermountain, Intermountain Health, building or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Those guys are not looking at the prospects the same. That's why they're going to come together, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to talk about it. Then, whatever prospect that they agree on, then that's who they're going to get. So my top 10 is I have Travis Hunter, number one. Now, like I said, EP's been busy, and I'm blessed, and I'm so happy he was able to do this, because we almost wasn't able to come together because he's so busy. So mine, like I said, I have grades and ranks and stuff too. So I'm gonna throw my ranks and grades for you guys, so that way you know. So I have Travis Hunter, number one. He's graded 95. He's my cornerback one and my wide receiver one. I mean, he's almost like a unicorn for me, so that's why I have him number one. Abdul Carter's number two. He's graded at 94. He's my defensive end number one. Aston Genty is 93 grade. He's number three. I look at him as an elite game changer, a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those players, explosive players that you need at the top. You know what I'm saying? And running backs normally don't go top, but I mean he's got that skill. He's my RB1. Mason Graham is 4 for me. He's graded at 93. He's my DT1. Cam Ward is 5. He's rated at 93. He's my QB1. Tyler Warren is 6, the tight end from Penn State. He's 92. He's my tight end number one. Jalen Walker is 7. I'm sorry, is 7. 92 grade, DN2. Number 8 is cornerback Will Johnson from Michigan. He's rated at 91. He's my QB2. And number 9 is Armand Membu. He's 91 grade. He's my tackle 1. And rounding out my top 10 is Jahadi Barron. He's rated at 91. He's my cornerback 3. So I have 3 cornerbacks in the first round, which like I said, again, I'm rating Travis as QB or as CB1 and wide receiver 1, because again, I think he's going to play both. He's really exceptional at both spots. So that's why it looks like, oh dang, he's got 3 cornerbacks at the top 10, but that's the reason why. I couldn't pick one position for Travis Hunter. So I had to split it. I had to put him at CB1 and wide receiver 1 for me. So, but that's my top 10, G.
No, see, for me, Travis Hunter, to me, he's a DB, man. I think if I was put him in my team, I'll put him as a defensive back, cornerback in the backfield. Yeah, he can be a good receiver, but I think just being a cornerback, he's at elite level. You know what I mean? And you leave him there. You leave him there and let him learn that craft more, because obviously you still have to learning curve in the NFL. So he's gonna get burned. He's gonna get burned. He's not gonna have it as easy as he had it in. I mean, not that he had it easy, but it's gonna be completely different. Right. You're gonna have grown ass man going after him. So he's gonna have to adjust to that. And if we're swapping him from corner to wide receiver, he'll never get adjusted. So in my opinion, I would put him as he's my number 1 corner. In my opinion, he's my number 1 corner. I do have I like Will Johnson and Barron. I actually believe Barron might be better than Will Johnson, in my opinion. And that's just because Will Johnson has kind of an injury history. He did play he did play with a better D line. I guess they're both good D lines. That's Texas and Michigan are pretty good defenses. So I can't really say that, but I just feel like Barron has that. Some guys just have that it factor, and I feel like Barron has that. I feel like he's just that dude. You know what I mean?
Right. And with Barron, I look at Barron like, to separate the two between Will Johnson and Barron. Johnson is more of a more of a willing tackler. Not saying
Yeah.
that Johnson don't. You know what I'm saying? Johnson, does tackle, but
But I
just
have
like
seen him
Barron will.
I have seen him shy away from some tackles,
Right.
and
Yeah, yeah.
that to me, and like I'm glad that you brought that up about me and you looking at prospects differently. And I've always told you that the way I look at it is hard work, willing to tackle, willing to get dirty. If you can't do that,
Mhm.
that you're not for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I go. And sorry to interrupt, right? But that's kind of like my point is Barron is to me is way better because he's willing to get that dirty work, and that's what Pete Carroll's looking for. And that's where Pete Carroll gets the best out of these type of guys. You know what I mean?
Right. And I look at like with Barron, I look at him more as a slot
Okay.
cornerback. Like I don't
Yeah, because it's
of
side.
course, I'm a UT guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm Texas Longhorns, my favorite college football team. So I've watched every game. You know, he doesn't play on the outside. He plays on the outside, but he doesn't play on the outside enough. Like his
Yeah,
best
yeah,
attributes are inside. So that's why I have, even though Will Johnson is not that great at tackling or that willing to tackle, but everything else shines. Shut
yeah, yeah,
down. What I'm saying? Like physical, as far as, being playing bump and run, man to man. And basically, shut down, the receiver that he's covering. I think he has better cover skills on the outside.
I agree. I agree on that. I can dig that. I can dig that. But
And like Will Johnson 6'2", 194, and Barron's 5'11", 194. So again, that's why, like I said, if Barron was tall, if Barron was taller and was and played more outside, I would have had Barron number 2
yeah,
over Will Johnson for sure. Just because of that. Also, too, his arms is Barron's arms is 29 and 5/8.
yeah,
Again, playing on the outside, what I'm saying, trying to go up, with the longer receivers or whatever, what I'm saying. His arms, same thing with Will Johnson, he's 30 and 1/8. So it's he's basically 1 inch, more than Barron, but still, you know, everything else outplays, Barron. So, but anyways, that's
yeah.
the two. And again, that's I love that, and you look at it, and we have difference. So, what's your 11 to 20?
So my 11 to 20, had sorry, let me get in here. My 11 to 20, I had so see that I had Will Johnson right there at 11, right at 11. Had Will
Okay.
Johnson at 11. I have uh I have Barron right after him at 12. I have I have Ominari, South Carolina safety, 6'3", 220 pounds,
Ooh,
220 pounds.
okay.
And then I have Amari Hampton at running back at number 13.
Okay.
I really like that kid. I got Calvin Banks, offensive tackle, 14. Israel
Okay.
Raku, Boston College. I had Amika Gubaka, 17, wide receiver, Ohio. Obuka, whatever. I can't say his name.
Emeka Abuka,
Yeah.
the wide receiver from Ohio State.
Yep. hmm
Okay.
I had Sherman Stewart Edge out of Texas A&M. This kid I have him 19, but I really like him. I watched him a lot because obviously I'm in Texas myself. I like this kid, this wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas.
Okay.
And I got number 20. I got Malik Starks, safety out of Georgia.
Okay. And you got him at 20.
I got him at 20.
Okay. Who was Boston College? Who'd you said you had? Or what was the player?
Out of Boston College,
Yeah, I think he
Donovan.
was.
Donovan is the Ryoku defensive end. I
Oh,
can't
okay.
say his
Donovan
name. Yeah,
Azaruka. Azaruka.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah. See, that's that's crazy. Like I said, because we look at it different. So like Donovan Azaruko, I have him 29th. You
29th.
said
Okay.
you said you had Matthew Golden. I have Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas, 36. But all right, so my 11 to 20, I have Jahad Campbell at 11, linebacker. He's my linebacker one. He's graded 91. I
Okay.
have Colston at 12. I have Colston Loveland, tight end, uh, graded 91. 13, I have Shamar Stewart, graded 91. He's my third. He's defensive end 3. Marion Hampton is 14, graded 91. He's my RB2. Will Campbell was number 15, grade 90. He's my tackle 2. 16 is Tetror McMillan, graded 90, wide receiver 2. 17 is Shadur Sanders, grade 90, QB 2. Mike Green is number 18 for me, 90 grade, defensive end 4. 19 is Kelvin Banks Jr., 90 grade, my tackle 3, and rounding out my top 20 is Mikael Williams, defensive end 5, graded 89.
I got Mike Green as my 24.
At 24?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's perfect. That, I mean, again, they're all right around the same range, but it's you know what I'm saying, it's like who sees
And before we
who
got
sees
on air, G, I kind of told you that I'm going based off, which I'm not a fan of this Raider Nation. I've never, and my brother here knows that I'm not a guy that likes to draft for need. I like, well, I mean, you go, I go by best player available, but at the same time, if it fits a need, then you take them, right?
right.
But like for me, it's always best player available. You can't have you got to build a team full of dudes, bro. I mean, you're gonna end up, even if you have 2 defensive tackles, 2 offensive tackles that are top notch, one can go down, you put the other one in. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. But I was kind of going by that. I was kind of going by the fact that I feel like a lot of teams lately have gone by need. You know what I mean? If you notice that lately in a lot of drafts, I've noticed that they've gone by need, man. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for example, the Falcons last year threw a curveball at us, and
Right.
they took Michael Penix. It wasn't a need, but at the same time, it was. If you think about it, for the long run, see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you look at the Jets, they had Brock Bowers right in their face, and they took the offensive tackle, which is good. Great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a great tackle. But he didn't make a big splash like Bowers did to us. Now
Right.
we took the best player available.
Right.
That was Brock.
Which might end up working out in their favor. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, you can't project what will happen, you know, like the future. You know, like I hear people say, oh man, well, like let's just, you know, hold off because you know, next year's class is this, or you know, well, let's just try to do this or whatever, and then we just go get that player next year. You know, it doesn't work that way. You know, and in this instance, it may work out for the Jets because they're picking 7th.
Yeah.
They didn't get Brock Bowers last year, but they can get someone that is pretty damn close to Brock Bowers. I'm not saying he's going to be Brock Bowers, but I mean
Yeah. Tyler.
he's projected as that rare talent as Brock Bowers and Tyler Warren. So
Yeah.
they may absolutely end up with that tight end. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's a crapshoot. You know,
Yeah. It is.
you
It
just
is. It is.
don't know.
And that's kind of like, we'll keep going down the list, and then we'll talk about that. We'll come back to this conversation.
Okay. Yeah, we'll stop at 50, and then we'll just
Okay.
kind of go. Then we'll do our rankings because I think we can
Okay.
get more. as far as our rankings, where we got everybody ranked, and then we'll go into the Raiders team building. All right,
Okay, so
so
I'll go from 21 to
20,
30.
yep.
All right, so 21 to 30. I got 21. I got Waller Nolan. Nolan out of Ole Miss, out of Mississippi. I'm sorry. Defensive tackle, 6'3", 293 pounds. I got 22. I got Derek Harmon, DT out of Oregon. I got 23. Luther Burden, wide receiver, Missouri, 5'11", 208 pounds. I think that he's a similar to a Trey Tucker type kid. Uh, Also kind of like a Hunter Renfro type. I got Mike Green at 24, D. Out of Marshall, 6'3", 251. I got Josh Simmons, Ohio, out of Ohio, offensive tackle. Obviously similarities with Chip Kelly. I got James Pierce Jr., defensive end out of Tennessee, 6'1", 243. At 27, I got Greg Zabel, offensive guard out of North Dakota, 6'5", 316 pounds. At 28, I got Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan, 6'5", 245 pounds. And at 29, I got Kenneth Grant, DT out of Michigan, 6'3", 331. I don't know, man. Kenneth Grant might be better than Graham, actually. I mean, I might want to tell you right now, you know what I mean? But
Looking at the tape, like I mean, just looking at the tape and stuff, I was like, wow, like he was popping off the screen too, and I was like, and then
yeah.
and if you listen to some of the people calling in and stuff, they was like, or how they're looking at it, it's like, well, is Mason Graham really that good, or is it because he was playing next to Kenneth Grant, right? And I'm like, okay, so was
Kenneth Grant
Nolan,
good because of Mason Graham?
right, or that Georgia line, with Jalen Carter and
Yeah.
Nolan or whatever, when they was playing together. I mean, they complemented each other. Okay,
Yeah.
so if we were to go get Mason Graham, do you know who he's going to be next to? Christian Wilkins.
Yeah.
So okay, so we already see what he can do when he has somebody dominant next to him. So I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh well, is he really that dude? Or I mean, will he really move the needle if he was a Raider?
No,
We see,
Mason Graham is the dude. You know what I mean?
but I do get your point. Like Kenneth Grant was jumping off the screen when
Yeah.
I was watching film, bro.
No, I'm not. I just kind of threw it out there, but I really like him. And Raider Nation, take note of this. He might slide to the second, and if we don't take Mason Graham, he might be the first and the second. It's
Right.
it just depends. You know what I mean? It just depends how the board drops. It only takes one team to make a full shift on the draft where it all just shifts. Okay, so my 30th rank, I got Trey Henderson, running back out of Ohio, 5'10", 202 pounds.
Okay. All right. So 21 is Malachi Starks, safety,
Okay.
graded 89.
I had him
22,
higher.
22 is Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, graded 89. James Pierce at 23, grade 89. Kenneth Grant, D tackle, graded 89. 25 is Luther Burden, wide receiver. I have him graded 89. 26 is Derek Harmon, graded 89, D tackle. Now I'm fixing to throw a curveball. You ready for this?
Yeah.
27. Jackson Dart is rated
Okay.
27.
See, and let me stop you there. Let me stop you there real quick, because you know how much I love this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep going, because you're gonna be surprised if I have these. Let me go.
He's graded 89 for me. He's obviously
Okay.
my QB3. 28 is Nick Emmanwori,
Okay.
safety from South Carolina. He's graded 89. 29 is Donovan Azaruko, defensive end, graded 88. And my rounding out my 30 is I'm really high on him. Like I really, really love this cornerback, Siobhan Rebel Jr.
Ooh, I love that kid, and I was going to tell you about him.
Man, I love Rebel. Man, he's East Carolina. He's 6'2", 194. Ran a 4.40 at the combine. He's got 32 and 5'8" arms. He is the prototypical
Pete Carroll
cornerback. So
I didn't mention him because I want him to drop. That's why.
I love my DBs, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know you can do it. They better not. Hey, this real teams better not listen to this because you're taking all the damn DBs out.
Yeah. So I mean, So out of my 30, I have four cornerbacks and two safeties. So 6 of my 30 is secondary. I'm Pete Carroll. Hire me.
Yeah, exactly. And check this out. And that's why I keep telling Raider Nation, these kids might drop. What we have here, they might drop. I mean, we got to keep bringing that up because before we got on there, I was telling my brother here, GD, that Glenn Diesel, that this draft might not have superstars. I mean, they're capable of being superstars, but we have a lot of solid guys that can be 10-year, 12-year starters. You know what I mean? If we just, multiple years and multiple players. I mean, they solid guys that can build a foundation for this team. If we just hit on these picks right. And yes, Pete Carroll, hire this guy.
Yeah. So and that's why I like doing this, is because it's boring, and to see like everybody have their same old big board, have the same players, ranked where they have them. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, like I get it. You have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to kind of be aligned with everybody because that's what you do. But if you really look at it, to me, like if you really break it down, if you look at, the film and stuff, you're really breaking down the prospects, man. Some of these prospects, and that's why you see names that go off the board, and you got people saying, "What the hell? Who is that?" It's because nobody talked about them. They regurgitate all these same names over and over and over, and people like, Siobhan, Ravel Jr. or whatever get overlooked because Will Johnson's been talked about so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Jahade Brown's been talked about so much. But it's like, what about the other cornerbacks? What about the Maxwell Harrison, who I have at 31, another cornerback. Surprise, surprise. I love my DBs, but Maxwell Harrison. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys need to be out there. Raider Nation, you need to have you need to do your research on these guys because there is somebody. There's somebody that you just really need to take seriously that the Raiders could possibly take.
Correct.
All right.
So, yeah.
Go ahead.
So you're gonna be surprised on my next 31 to 40, G, because you know me. I've always told you this. I love my later round picks, my second, my third, and my fourth. I've always been that guy.
Right.
I actually do my homework more on those type of rounds than anything. I mean, me and you have always discussed this, right?
Yep.
I mean, even during the draft when we call each other and do FaceTime and do live chat, I'm calling names out in the 5th round. I mean, I'm calling people out to pick. So this is where it gets interesting for me because a lot of these guys that I have here might go in the 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
Might go in the 1st, or like I said, they might just drop because of how solid the draft is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So here we go. This is one of my favorite dudes right here. And like I said, this kid might go in the 1st. Carson Stranger, linebacker out of UCLA, 6'3", 244. Kid's a beast. Okay.
Gotcha.
32, I got. Check this out. Jackson Dart.
So I had him at 27. You got him at 32. Love it. Love it.
32. Jackson Dart. QB, Ole Miss, 6'4", 230. 33, I got Josh Carnley, offensive tackle out of Oregon, 6'4", 313. I got 34, I got Tyler Booker, offensive guard out of Alabama, 6'5", 232 pounds. At my 35 slot, I got Shador Sanders,
Okay.
quarterback out of Colorado, 6'2", 215.
Gotcha.
36, I got Shavon Ribble Jr., East Carolina, quarterback, 6'2", 194. 37, I got Trey Amos, cornerback, Ole Miss, 6'1", 195. That's your cornerback right there, DB. 38, I got Ariana Archery, offensive tackle out of Minnesota. He's a big, massive kid, 6'6", 340.
Who is that?
39, Ariante Archery
Ooh.
out of Minnesota.
All right. So hold on. So where do you have him?
I got him at 38.
Okay.
He's a massive kid.
Yeah, I may have to go back because I got
He-
him.
I believe he was in the Senior Bowl.
I got him at 79, bro. I got him at my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, my 8th ranked tackle.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and look at him. All right.
I got 39. I got Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky, cornerback, 5'11", 183. And then 40, Darian Porter, cornerback out of Iowa, 6'3", 195. You see a lot of cornerback coming out in the second round for me.
Okay.
I like that kid too. I like the last pick. I like my kid right there out of Iowa. He's a big kid. 6'3", 195.
Darren Porter? Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see, where do I got him? Let's see, Darian Porter, cornerback, Darian Porter. I got him ranked 9th as my 9th ranked cornerback, but he's 6'3", 185. He ran a 4.30 40. And he is 33 and 1/8 arms. So again, he has that prototypical. The reason why I had him low, is because he was a basketball player and he just now started. He was a wide receiver, and he transitioned over to cornerback. But he also played basketball too. But he's still finding his way at cornerback. So that should tell you how special that he is that he's ranked that high, that he has, like a lot of buzz to where if they can tap into that potential, you got a superstar.
Yeah.
But again, it's the upside. And like I said, I just knowing that I still couldn't put him higher with the cornerbacks that I had, but I did keep that in mind. It's like, he could possibly turn out to be an elite cornerback if he gets with the right coaching staff and he, develops, get the right development. He's definitely got high upsides. But yeah, he was my 9th rank. So.
Okay.
So we're doing 31, right? 31 through 40.
40. Mm-hmm.
31, again, I said it's cornerback Maxwell Hairston. He's graded 88. 32, I have Josh Carnley, tackle. He's graded 88. Now I'm higher. I'm high on this guy. I'm higher. I guess I'm a lot higher than most people. And like, and I, as you know, like we start early. We start early watching, film and stuff like that, what I'm saying, of these prospects, right? And throughout the spring and, the season and now, during the draft process, he has not wavered to me from my running back 3. He's been my running back 3 ever since spring all the way into now. Caleb Johnson. He's my running back 3. Like, and I'm looking at everybody else. I'm looking at, other rankings and stuff like that. Man, they don't like. They have him like the 6th or 7th best. But anyways, I got him as my RB3. He's graded 88. 34 is Emeka Ibuka, wide receiver from Ohio State, grade 87. 35 is tackle Josh Simmons, grade 87. 36 is wide receiver Matthew Golden from my UT, graded 87. 37 is Talik Williams, defensive tackle, grade 87. 38 is my first guard in my ranking. He's my guard number 1, Tyler Booker, grade 87. 39 is, here's another curveball. 39, I have my boy, my quarterback, Tyler Shuck, as 39th ranked player, grade 87. And rounding out my top 40 is Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, of course, from Notre Dame, grade 87. So
see, and that's because I have what's it called? I have Talik Williams out of Ohio. I have him at 42. You know what I mean?
at 42,
Yeah.
and that's not that far off. I mean, if
No,
you think
it's not
about
that
it,
far off.
37 to 42, I'm pretty sure. Like if you had time to grade, I'm pretty sure his grade would be what?
I actually really like that kid. I think he could be a beast.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. So he might like I keep saying, this draft is solid, man. Very solid. So who knows? This kid can go up. He can be drafted 32nd.
Bro, he's my 5th D tackle, and he's ranked at 37.
Exactly. No,
Now,
that's it.
my 5 defensive tackles are going to go in the top 37. You know what I'm saying? But as far as talent, he's ranked at 30. He's 37 for me, 42 for you, but he's not going to go in the first round. So we're going to get pretty much a first round talent, again, graded 87. He's almost in that 90 range that we're going to get later, or possibly can get later.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys to keep that in mind, Raider Nation, is that that's where you're telling you. I'm at my 40th best player on my big board, still with a grade of 87. So, all right, so 41 through 50, and then we'll get off the big board, and we'll get to our rankings, and then we'll get into the Raiders roster.
Okay. Let me see if I can, because I did all the way to 65, but I'm gonna go ahead and because I could have changed a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Well, if you want to go ahead and do your 65, go up to 65, and I'll say my 65, so that way you don't have to re-rank them, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, so I guess you go 41 to 65, and I'll do my 41 to 65. Or if we can just do the 10, continue to do the 10, however you want to do it.
Yeah, we'll continue to do 10. I got 41. I got Nick Gordon, defensive end out of Texas A&M, 6'3", 257.
I see. Okay, so before we started doing that, you brought that name up.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I got him. Okay, I was like, I got him lower. Like, what did I miss? I got him 68, but
I actually watched a lot of Texas A&M, so he can drop or go where kind of. I think he might be a 3rd, 4th round pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I have him as a 3rd. 68. You start to get, once you start getting to 68, you starting to get in the 3rd. 3rd round range.
Right here's where I got Talik Williams at Ohio, defensive tackle, 6'3" at 42. At 43, I got Benjamin Morris at Notre Dame. I like this kid, 6 foot, 193. I like this kid too, Jaden Higgins, wide receiver at Iowa, 6'4". 6'4", 217. At 45, I got Alfred Collins, defensive tackle out of Texas, 6'4", 332.
Oh man, I love Alfred Collins, bro.
Yeah, that was a beast. 46, Princey Anumanalan, defensive end out of Ole Miss, 6'4". Anumanialan, I don't know how I'm saying his name. Defensive end out of Ole Miss, 6'4" to 44. 47, I got Jonas Savaleni, offensive guy at Arizona, 6'4", 339. I think he can be a really good guard if we were to draft him. At 48, I got Cam Scatterbull, running back out of Arizona State, 5'10", 219.
Okay.
At 49, I got Darius Alexander, defensive tackle at Toledo, 6'4", 304. And at 50, I got Y. Malum, offensive tackle out of West Virginia, 6'6", 315, big ass kid.
Okay. Hold on, timeout. Say that again.
What's that? The last one?
Yeah, that last defensive tackle.
I got Wyatt Millum, offensive tackle.
Oh,
West
Wyatt.
Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wyatt.
out of West Virginia. He's massive, 6'6".
So I was doing some research, or obviously when I was doing the tape and stuff like that or whatever. Wyatt, that kid impressed me, bro.
Hey, I'm trying to keep him close. I'm trying to keep him close to the best, G.
Oh my god, dude, he impressed me like all around. Like I think he's probably the best run block
Tackle.
In his class.
And not only that, bro, he's a molder, bro. He's
I think he's probably top 3 in power.
He's assassin.
Oh, okay.
Hey, just imagine him with JPJ.
Woo. Oh, I know. Trust me, I put a star by his name. Yeah.
I think if we were to draft this kid in the 3rd or 4th, he'd be the replacement for Colin Miller, right off the bat.
Yeah. And I was looking at that. That's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind because, like I said again, I think we do need to start draft his replacement, just for some fact that if we don't resign him because he's on a 1 year, we got 1 year left this year. So he's playing for a contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really do need to start looking for his replacement. And I was honestly, Willem or Wyatt Willem, he or Millum. I'm sorry, he definitely impressed me.
I honestly think this kid might go high in the 2nd round, G.
I hope not. And that's why nobody's talking about him. Everybody's talking about Mimbu, Campbell, Banks, Connerly, Simmons. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you keep Wyatt, Millum, just keep him out of your mouth, keep him off the radar. Again, that's who I'm targeting, bro. 41 through 50 for me is Xavier Watts at 41, safety, graded 87. 42, I have Jonah Savarinia, guard. He's my 2nd guard. He's ranked 80 or graded 87. 43 is Shamar Turner, defensive tackle, grade 87. 44 is JT. I'm sorry. Tima. Some of these names. JT
Timalo, defensive end at Ohio.
Yeah. Grade 87. 45 is tight end Elijah Aroa, grade 87. 46 is cornerback Trey Amos, grade 86. 47 is wide receiver Jaden Higgins, grade 86. 48 is defensive tackle TJ Saunders at 86. 49 is wide receiver Trey Harris, grade 86. And rounding out my top 50 is tight end Mason Taylor, Jason Taylor's son, grade 85. All right, so who you got from 51 through 60?
So I got
actually do I guess 51 65 since we don't have 10 and 10 no more. So just do do the full 51 to 65.
And that's crazy because I have a lot of guys coming up right here from 51 to 65 that you just named.
Oh, really?
So check this out. I got JT Tomalo, defensive end out of Ohio at 51.
Okay.
And I got Donovan Jackson, offensive guard at Ohio State, 6'4", 300 pounds. I got Trey Harris at 53, wide receiver Ole Miss, 6'2", 205.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jalen Milroe. This is where I got Jalen Milroe at QB, Alabama,
Okay.
6'1", 220. I got Cameron Williams, offensive tackle, Texas, 6'5", 335. I got Josiah Stewart, defensive end out of Michigan, 6'1", 248.
What number you on?
I'm 56.
Okay, got you. All right.
I got 57. I got this Zariah Thomas, cornerback, Florida, at a 6'2", 195.
Okay.
At 58, I got TJ Sanders, DT, South Carolina, 6'5", 297.
Okay.
At 59, I got Elik Ayumanor, wide receiver, Stafford, 6'2", 210. 60, I got Omar Norman Lott, Tennessee, defensive tackle, 6'2", 295. At 61, I got Tez Johnson, wide receiver at Oregon. At 62, I got Quinshon Judkins, Ohio, running back, 6', 221. At 63, I got Caleb Johnson, Iowa, running back, 6'1", 224.
Woo! See? Okay. So you said 61?
At 63.
Caleb Johnson?
Yeah.
See, like a lot of people, man, like I know he's not a burner, he's not fast, or like, but man, I think people are sleeping on Caleb Johnson, bro. Like, I don't know.
He reminds me a lot of what's his name, Najee Harris with Steelers, but
Bucky Irvin is who I
Bucky Irvin too, yeah.
Like is who I look at Caleb Johnson as. He's just that pounder. You know what I'm saying? Like he can get through. Like he's not gonna take it to the house, but his vision and his patience. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a floater. Like he waits and finds that hole and then he bursts through. Almost kind of like Le'Veon Bell. You know how Le'Veon Bell used to just, the zone run where he just kind of, and all of a sudden, he just lets it open up and then he just takes off. That's who I see Caleb Johnson. I was like, I don't know. Like, I know I'm just a little bit higher on him than most people or whatever. So.
And at 64, I got Xavier Watt, safety, Notre Dame. And then at 65, I got Tyler Schott.
Okay.
So that's my top 65. That's all I did too. So Caleb Johnson and Quinshon Judkins, I can't say his name, both running backs, and Cam Scatterbull can probably go higher, maybe early third round, all three of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I really do like all of them. I like Caleb Johnson too, and I do believe he can. I believe he'll be there for us. Even if we take Ashton Jeanty, imagine taking Caleb Johnson as well. Mm-hmm. Kind of doubled up on both running backs, So, yeah, that's my top 65, D. So, we can hear yours now.
Hey, that's a good 65, man. That's and again, it's different, and I love that. So my 51 to 65. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you because I heard you say Gray Zabel early. I think you had. I think you had Gray Zabel in the 30s, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I have him. Had him pretty high. 30. Gray Zabel. Oh, I had him in the first round.
Okay.
I had him at 27.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if he went first round. But do you have him at tackle or guard?
I see. I put him down as a guard.
Okay, that's what I have him. I have him a guard.
But he's 6'5", 6'6", around there. So he's a big kid.
Yeah. And I think his arms. I think people are shy, about his arms or whatever, So, um, but yeah, I got him at guard. I think he would probably be pushed into the guard. But yeah, I was kind of curious if you had him there. But he's my 51. I have Gray Zabel at 51, but I got him at guard. He's my third guard on the board. He's ranked 85. 52, I have wide receiver Jalen Rolls, 85 grade. 53, I have running back Dylan Sampson, grade 85. 54, I have defensive tackle Alfred Collins, grade 85. At 55, I have cornerback Azariah Thomas, grade 85. 56, I have cornerback Darian Porter, grade 85. Now, here's the name that, again, not a lot of people are high on. I'm high on him. And, I mean, he would be more of a defensive end than linebacker in the NFL. Jack Sawyer. I think just Jack Sawyer is a dude, man. He's one of those smash mouth, like just bust you in the face, type, players. You know what I'm saying? Like just gritty player, man. I love his game, man. Just watching him. So I got him at 57. Got him at defense, grade 85. My second linebacker, which I had Jahadi Campbell at 11. So this tells you the gap for me. Jahadi Campbell, my linebacker 1, 11. My linebacker 2, Carson Schweisinger. I got him rated great at 58 on the big board, graded at 84. So I still got a good grade on him. I just, again, there's just so much talent that kind of slid him down but I do like his game. 59, there's my boy Wyatt Millam, grade 84. 60, Jalen Noel, wide receiver, grade 83. 61 is where I have quarterback Jalen Miro, grade 83. 62, I have defensive tackle Darius Alexander, grade 83. 63, I have running back Cam Scatterboo, grade 83. 64, I have running back Travion Henderson, grade 83. And rounding out my 65th player is defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, grade 83. And then I see that you had Eric or Elick Eva Maynor. The reason why I'm just saying I got him 66th.
Okay.
He's my wide receiver 10, grade 83. But he is in my, you got him in your top 65. He's just right outside my 65. He's at 66 for me.
Yeah, I got him. I got him at 57.
Okay. So what you think, man? Like just not knowing each other's big board. What do you think?
I mean, that's crazy, bro. And this is what Raider Nation needs, right? Because, and I'm not trying to, if you look at other outlets, radio stations or whatever, it's always the same ones. Always the same ones. They talk about the same people, and that's because you look at other websites and they have the same dudes up front. You know what I mean? And that's cool. I mean, we have the same dudes too, but we just have them ranked differently. And the way that I have them ranked, it's not necessarily the way they're going to go down in the draft. Honestly, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying there's some guys that I had ranked high at before 32 that might go in the 40s and the 30s. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is it just depends on the team, depends on what they're looking for, and depends what they really want. You know what I mean? Like I said, it only takes one team to throw a curveball. What if you get and I really do think that in this draft, like because of the scarcity of the position, quarterbacks are gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when the curveball starts being thrown. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's why I had, again, I had Jackson Dart at 27, and I had let me see, did I say it right? Yeah. 27. And then I had Tyler Shuck at 39. Just because of that reason. Is because they will get pushed up. and taking higher than what they should. Like, I don't think that Tyler Shuck is going to go in the second round, but I'm pretty sure that he probably will go second round. You know what I'm saying? Or early.
Even Jalen Miro.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Man, Jalen Miro is going to the green room.
He might be a first
in a draft.
Yeah.
So why would he go torture himself or put himself through that if he wasn't told, or you know what I'm saying, if something wasn't up to where he's not going to get taken? You know what I'm saying? Like, so for him to accept that invite and go to the green room and be in Green Bay, that says something. That says a lot. So yeah, I mean, these quarterbacks get pushed up. So